The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means. I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people.
33rd degree members of the secret order of Freemasons.
Freemasonry believes in brotherly love, relief, and truth as a way to make good men better.
The main premise is we're all equal. It's as simple as that. Yes, there will be people who do different roles, but fundamentally we are all the same.
In all Masonic lodges, signs and symbols are everywhere.
They help you reflect and realize or fully understand what's right from wrong, to be charitable and mindful of the needs of others.
In the lodge, a rough stone known as an ashlar represents the as yet unformed initiate.
So when we have taken the rough stone and educated and polished it up, we end up with a perfect stone, and that's what we hope all the brethren will become.
According to the American esoteric scholar and 33rd degree Mason, Manly P. Hall, Freemasonry is a fraternity within a fraternity, an outer organization concealing an inner brotherhood of the elect. That certainly sounds a little Illuminati-ish. Hall adds that the visible society is a splendid camaraderie of free and accepted men, enjoined to devote themselves to ethical, educational, fraternal, patriotic, and humanitarian concerns. The invisible society is a secret and most august fraternity whose members are dedicated to the service of a mysterious Arcanum Arcanorum, the secret of secrets. Yet another Masonic scholar, the 19th century American Albert Pike, pronounced Masonry a search for the light that led back to the occult mysteries of the ancient Jewish tradition of Kabbalah. In turn, the Kabbalah connected Freemasonry to Hermeticism, alchemy, and the anti-papal thinkers of the Middle Ages. Did he include among those anti-papal thinkers the notorious Knights Templar and the heretical Cathars? No Mason is required to go any further than Freemasonry's 3 craft or blue degrees: entered apprentice, fellow craft, and master. Higher degrees are bestowed by so-called rites. They're mostly regarded as purely honorary or ornamental. If you imagine the craft degrees as Cub Scout, Boy Scout, and Eagle Scout, then the higher degrees are like merit badges an Eagle Scout earns to distinguish himself. Other terms for the rites and their higher degrees are speculative or esoteric Masonry. This is where the mystical and occult doctrines Pike mentions really come into play. Over time, there have been about 20 Masonic rites. The best known are the Scottish Rite and the York Rite. But the rites aren't under any authority or any grand lodge. Thus, the higher rites can pretty much do and believe whatever they want. The number of additional degrees offered by the rites varies widely. The Scottish Rite, for example, goes up to 33 degrees. Pike argued that all divine intelligences, gods, angels, and the like, were divided into 2 principles of good and evil, light and darkness. To Pike, Freemasonry was the successor or revival of the ancient mystery cults. But he viewed regular Blue Lodge Freemasonry as merely the entrance to the temple. Pike's esoteric ideas weren't intended for ordinary Masons. Most brethren are probably unaware of them. Indeed, nothing in his book, Morals and Dogma, was sacramental or obligatory. It was merely Pike's learned opinion. Still, as commander of the Supreme Council of the Masonic Scottish Rite, Pike wasn't without influence.
With George Washington as president and Freemason, the secret society grew more public, gaining membership, power, and influence throughout the young United States.
Freemasonry became very popular, and as a result of that, some people started questioning, said, what is happening here? It seems like everywhere you turn, you find a Mason. Are these guys taking over the country? Do they have their own secret plot or something?
In 1798, in America, a shocking book appeared that claimed the French Revolution and the terror that followed were really the work of a small devil-worshipping society that hid under the cover of the Society of Freemasons, the Illuminati.
The Illuminati, fascinating, powerful connotative reference, cultish, secret, symbolic rituals. The Illuminati was a real historical movement, created interestingly in the year 1776 in Bavaria, and they did attempt to foment revolutions, and they did spread in secret to some other European countries.
A number of people begin to raise fears that the Illuminati have come to America, that they're also trying to create that same sort of thing.
George Washington was both president and the country's most famous Freemason. If the country believed the Freemasons were corrupt, the government might collapse.
George Washington receives letters from important people in American society asking him to declare that he is not a Freemason. And George Washington replies, sort of, I'm not now and never have been a member of the Illuminati. And he doesn't denounce Freemasonry.
The Masons' position of power and influence was about to end with a crime and a cover-up.
Never to reveal our secrets, under no less a penalty than my throat be cut across.
In 1826, William Morgan violated that oath. An ex-Freemason in the western New York state town of Batavia, Morgan announced plans to publish a book exposing every detail of even the highest, most secret Freemason rituals. Soon after, the heavy-drinking Morgan was jailed on the trivial charge of defaulting on a $2.60 debt.
For many Masons, these were the culmination, the most sacred moments within fraternal activity. The Masons in the area around him, they do all sorts of things to try to stop him, from trying to speak to him, to try to burn down the printing press. And eventually they turn to kidnapping. They take him out of the prison and they ride with him off into the night. Morgan's never seen again.
As the carriage pulled away, a witness heard Morgan cry out, "Murder, murder."
Many people think he was killed, which is my view. Some people say he was sent to Canada and elsewhere.
4 men, all local Masons, were arrested and charged with kidnapping.
As the wheels of justice turn, they don't turn very well, because Masons seem to be trying to cover this up. You have Masonic sheriffs packing juries. You have Masonic organizations seeming to try to remove witnesses from the area.
When the defendants were let off with light sentences, a public outcry erupted. Even DeWitt Clinton, the powerful governor of New York State and Freemason, was suspected of conspiracy.
Public opinion convicted the Masons, all the Masons, not just a group of renegade, out-of-control local Masons, but every Mason everywhere was guilty of the murder.
Americans come to see Masonry in a new way. What had seemed to be the embodiment of everything that was right about America now seems to be the embodiment of everything that's wrong about America. Freemasonry seems to be an emblem of the compromises, of the failures of this world, a world which claimed to be equal, but yet was deeply stratified, deeply divided. So Masons claimed to be about equality, but yet had kings, had high priests, had worshipful masters in their lodges.
By the time of the presidential campaign of 1831, a burgeoning anti-Mason movement had coalesced into a powerful political force.
The first third national party, quote unquote, in the United States was the anti-Masonic party. I mean, you could look how narrowly defined it was. You know, it was not like a libertarian party, you know, or a green party. It was like an anti-Masonic party. You create a party, a national party against something.
The anti-Masons lost their presidential bid in 1832 to Andrew Jackson, a Democrat and a Freemason, but the damage had been done. Small-town preachers poured down condemnation on the Masons in their congregations, labeling them blasphemers, atheists, and expelled those who refused to quit the fraternity.
It just devastates Freemasonry. The Vermont Grand Lodge simply closes up. They decide they can't continue to meet. The Michigan Grand Lodge has the same experience.
The Freemasons might have disappeared from America in the wake of what was known as the Morgan Affair. But the Freemasons would rise again, propelled by a mysterious, charismatic leader who would transform the fraternity and lead to charges that the Freemasons were secretly in league with the devil.
The candidate for entered apprentice stands behind the door, waiting to be summoned. He's blindfolded, and there's a noose around his neck with a length of rope trailing behind. His chest is exposed at the left breast, and his left pant leg rolled up. The doorkeeper raps 3 times and announces that the candidate desires to enter and obtain the privileges of Freemasonry. With that, the candidate is escorted into the lodge by the inner guard. The guard holds the tip of a dagger against the candidate's bare chest and asks if he feels anything. Next, the candidate kneels before the head of the lodge, the worshipful master, and they engage in a ritual question and answer. He's led by the rope or cable tow to an altar with a Bible or other holy book. Standing with his heels together to form a square, the candidate now kneels. He places his right hand on the Bible and with his left presses the point of a compass against his chest. He swears to forever conceal and never reveal any of the secret arts, parts, or points of the hidden mysteries of Freemasonry.
Never to reveal our secrets, under no less a penalty than my throat be cut across, my tongue be torn out by its root, and that I be buried in sand, a cable's length from shore.
The assembled brothers rise and give the sign of the entered apprentice. Right hand held palm down beneath the chin, with the elbows straight out. The master asks the candidate what he seeks. He replies, "The light." The master strikes his gavel, and the hood is removed.
Let the brother receive the light.
The master reminds him that he faces terrible retribution should he ever betray the organization's secrets. He is instructed that he must understand the importance of God, must be law-abiding, must abstain from political or religious discussion in the lodge, and must obey the master and other officers. He's again warned he must never reveal any secrets of the Brotherhood. Secrecy, if you haven't noticed, is a big deal.
Did you ever get that far? Oh yeah, I became a Master Mason. Okay. I mean, the highest you go is 33rd, but okay. Even at 32nd, see, from the ranks of 30th to 33, which is 3, that's when they divulge the actual truth to you. I got you. You know, which they have you in darkness all those years, and then once you start climbing up the rituals and the phases, and you go up the ranks or degrees, and they expose everything to you at the 30th to the 33, you know, you're done. You're selling yourself to the devil at that point.
And then not only that, you're sworn to secrecy.
Yeah, you sworn never to divulge any information, but to always protect and help your fellow brother. That's it. Yeah.
In other words, like, you almost have to kind of like the way we have to be reborn.
Yes, they're making a mockery out of baptism.
Right, and it's actually reversed. And you know what? The devil works like that because. So if we have to be reborn, they pretty much say you have to
die first.
You have to kill yourself for the devil. Yeah. Their ultimate goal is pretty much one world order,
one world religion,
and one world
currency. Yep.
To eventually rule the world.
Rule the world, right?
Which is to usher in also the
Antichrist.
The Antichrist, mark of the beast, and so
Mark of the beast, right? You have to be a master Mason before you become anything else. Depending on your upward mobility, and rituals, the quicker you get them done, the quicker things are revealed to you. But like I said, you could go as high as you want. If you got money, you could buy your way up. Honorary. Like oh yeah, you talking about those the Illuminati?
Illuminati. Okay, so
right.
This has to do with them.
Oh yeah, you have to be a Freemason to be that. All the presidents were Freemasons. Oh. But see, if you start exposing them, they'll go after you. They'll go after your family. They'll try to kill you because the government is part of it. It's not only civilians. The government is in cahoots with these people.
Right.
In Hollywood, if you in the industry, the devil, they, like Illuminati, all that shit, they try to get you. Especially when you got a big influence, you around that shit.
Out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
They're fleshly vessels. There are compartmentalized. They're like shattered. They shatter their brains, and it's just like MK Ultra, right? They use MK Ultra to break the minds of people, and then they mold them the way that they want them to go.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Or satanic ritual abuse. That all comes together with the Freemasons.
Whether or not you believe in the New World Order and this conspiracy among the global elite, it cannot be denied that there are millions of Freemasons around the world, many of them powerful and historically have been involved in criminal activity, corruption, and cover-ups. But what I can say for certain is that where there is secrecy, there is conspiracy, and the agendas that once remained hidden are getting harder to conceal as the public continues to ask questions about who truly runs the world that we live in.